people yesterday, when I was on a different show, deemed that this Commanders versus Eagle game is a NFC Championship preview. This is a preview of the NFC Championship. And I got to thinking, like, could this really be a preview of the NFC Championship game? Like, yeah, the Eagles are good. Yeah, the Commanders are good. But are they both able to make the NFC Championship game? Is this a championship game preview? So let me ask you guys this question. Is the Commanders versus Eagles on Thursday Night Football, is this a preview of the NFC Championship game? And when I was first proposed this question, when I first was looking at the question, I'm like, what? Get out of here. But the NFC, guys, is pretty well balanced. From top to bottom, the NFC is balanced. Anybody could make a push and make it to the Super Bowl. It would be from the NFC. The AFC, right, you kind of have your front runners, right? Yeah, you got some lollygaggers like the Broncos and the Chargers and potentially like the Bengals or whoever slides into that last spot seed, right? They're all kind of there, but the AFC is kind of separated itself, right? You got the Ravens, you got the Steelers and the Chiefs and the Bills. Those four teams are pretty much cut and dry. The NFC, legitimately, anybody can make it to the NFC Championship game. Whether it's the Lions, whether it's the Vikings, whether it's the Packers, the 49ers, yes, the 49ers, Eagles, Commanders, Falcons, or Bucks, legitimately, any one of those teams can make it to the NFC Championship game. But to say that this is an NFC Championship game preview implies that they will pretty much be on separate sides of the bracket, right? They would have to be like a 4 and like a 7 seed. And I don't see that happening. I do not see them both being bad enough to be a 4 and a 17 as far as record-wise goes. And because both these teams are from the NFC East, right? So they cannot be the 1-2 seed. They cannot be the 2-3 seed. They would be, one would be a division winner, one would be a wild card. So 1 through 4, and then 5 through 7. And it's very unlikely that they will play in the NFC Championship game. And even if they could, I do not see the Commanders getting hot enough to actually make it there, right? The Commanders they're probably going to be, let's say, a 6 seed. When they're a 6 seed, they're going to have to play the 2 seed in the Philadelphia Eagles round number 1. Can they beat the Eagles? No. Let's say the Eagles are a 3 seed and whatever, right? When you go down the list, the Commanders, I don't think, can beat the division winners, right? They cannot beat the Lions. They will not be able to beat the Buccaneers if the Buccaneers win the South. They could probably beat the Falcons, but they're not going to beat the 49ers, and they're not going to beat the Eagles. So this is not a championship game preview whatsoever. But what are you guys' thoughts? Can this be a Super Bowl or a NFC Championship preview? Can this be a preview of what we are going to see? And Mark D says NFC Championship is going to be Philadelphia at Detroit. And Ant agrees with that. That is a very, very safe bet, but do not sleep on the San Francisco 49ers. I'm just saying, do not sleep on them. Do not sleep on them. Jim says it's only 2 hours road trip in traffic for the all Pennsylvania Super Bowl, right? But they would have to fly like 20 hours to New Orleans or something. Wouldn't that be good? And James Sherman says, no way. One of them have to get through the Detroit to make that happen. And if one of them happen to get through Detroit, who would you take, right? Because I was on a Detroit Lions show yesterday. They were boasting their lines, all show, whatever, yada, yada, yada. They do what they want. But legitimately, the Lions are a good team. One of the best teams in the NFL. Second best team, to be exact. Can the Eagles or Commanders beat the Lions in the playoffs? The Commanders, I would say no. No. The Eagles would have the best shot. So the best shot for this NFC Championship preview game to happen, the Commanders versus the Eagles both making it, is that the Commanders win the division as a 4 seed, and then the Eagles are like the 6 or 7 seed, right? Then the Eagles would play a team like the 49ers or the Falcons in the first round. And then the Eagles and Lions would play in the divisional round. And then potentially we could see a Washington versus Eagles things, but that is a whole another story. But I don't think it's going to happen. Tell me I'm dumb, but Detroit is its own trap game. Detroit has the opportunity to shoot themselves in the foot. Yes, Jim, you are correct. The Lions had the opportunity to beat themselves over and over and over again, and they did. They did beat themselves versus the Houston Texans. Luckily for them, the Houston Texans were like, here, take the game from me. Take the game from me. And says, my dark horse is the Falcons. Kirk Cousins may just prove the haters are wrong. And the Falcons, they are a team that upsets me every single week, right? The minute I start to buy into the Falcons, they lose to a team like the Saints. They lose to the Seahawks at home. The minute I start to buy the Falcons, they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm like, okay, here we go. But then they played down the Falcons is a team that plays up to the competition and then plays down to the competition, much like the Las Vegas Raiders. It must be a black thing, right? If you have black in your uniform, you play up to the competition, then you play down to the competition. Ravens do the same thing. They play down to the Raiders week 2, right? If the Falcons can figure out how to be consistently good, not great, not bad, but just a nice, consistent, we are who we are, right? Play like they play like the Detroit Lions. We're coming in here, we're playing our game, beat us if you can. If the Falcons can be like that, they would be a dangerous team. But they play down the competition, then they play up to the competition, down the competition, up to the competition. If they figure that out, they'll be okay. They will be A-okay. So, what do you guys think? Is this a championship game preview? I'm saying no. I think there's 3 other teams that would make it there. The Detroit Lions, the Eagles, and the 49ers have the best shot. Commanders are probably going to be a one and done in the playoffs if they make the playoffs. So it is what it is. All right, guys. So we